ward off this attack, but Sheth still has a pretty good standing army, and he's taking the gold right now. I really, really love this play. Now we see him shoot ahead in the harvester count. He was just behind a little bit ago, but he was able to get some very, very huge pushes of larva and just turn those all into drones. Probably going to be taking his other gas at his expansion now, getting roaches and zerglings. He's now getting an evolution chamber, and just now he has finished up the lair. That was actually a very, very late lair, but when he's putting so much pressure on, he knows that there's not going to be any sort of those zerglings going to their death pretty quickly, as this cannon does warp in, and Time is getting his third up. But as I was saying, the lair wasn't really necessary because he knew that there weren't going to be any DTs. He was putting so much pressure, he had killed so many sentries, that he knew that that gas couldn't have been going anywhere else. And then he did see the Immortal pop out. That's another 100 gas for the Immortal, another 100 gas for the robotics facility. He knew that, you know, no DTs or any sort of void rays or anything like that were going to come, so he knew he didn't have to get his lair right away. I really, really like that thinking. Well, of course, it could have just been a mistake and he forgot to get his lair for a little while, but I like to think that he did it on purpose because he is Sheth and he's super, super good. Taking another look at the income tab, we just see him 74 harvesters now compared to the 63 of Time, and I'm curious to see whether Sheth is going to continue to make harvesters so that he can replenish his army very, very quickly, or if he wants to get a little bit of a bigger army and just not be able to replenish as quickly. We do see that these Glio reconstitution is coming down, as well as the Zerg missile attacks level 1, as well as a lot of roaches and blink now, as well as an immortal coming out for vVvTime. So that blink is going to be very good. He's going to be able to use that to harass if he needs to. He's going to be able to use that to block off any sort of counter attacks or anything that we see here. And we see that Sheth is taking his 4th base now. A couple of Zerglings there just to guard it a little bit, and a big group of roaches going to come in right now. But vVvTime looks like he does see this. He does see it, and he's going to turn around, and if he gets some nice force fields off, he is going to be a little bit of a messy force field there, not really catching anything, but there's a whole another group of units down here for Sheth. Looks like he's going to get a 2-pronged attack right now. This Immortal, what are you doing? What are you doing out of the middle of nowhere? Zerglings are coming in, but they're not going to be able to do anything. Looks like Sheth is just going to attack right into this natural expansion, as well as into the 3rd of vVvTime, and Sheth looks like he's just going to target down the Nexus. These units over here are going down very quickly. There are a lot of mortals, a lot of stalkers doing a ton of damage, and these are going to be cleaned up too, but not before they take out the Nexus. That is actually so huge. They're going to be able to get some probe kills as well, and it looks like another macro hatch coming down for Sheth at this time. The Zealot, no, the Zergling I should say, trying to be a hero, taking out that Immortal, so much bigger, just picking at his heels. That would have been such a hero Zergling if he had managed to take that out. But now here comes the counterattack. This is what's scary for Sheth. Actually, it's not scary for Sheth because he still has the bigger, he has about the same size army right now. But he has added in some Hydras to this mix, and without Colossus for vVvTime, that is going to be very hard to push into. I would like to see a little bit better creep spread from Sheth. Of course, he's been doing a lot of multitasking, and it's very hard to keep up with stuff like that. But it would help a lot in this situation if creeper spread all the way down here. And we do see that a little bit of a contaminate on the robotics facility. Very nice to do. If you have the APM to do that, that is something you should absolutely be doing. Now we see Psionic Storm coming down for vVvTime, as well as rebuilding this Nexus. And for Sheth, we do see the Carapace level 1, the Grooved Spines, that's the +1 attack range for Hydralisks. And we see a couple more Queens and the missile attacks I should say, level 2 coming out now, as well as an Infestation Pit and another Evolution Chamber. He's going to start getting those double upgrades. Needs to still continue to do his spitting, but a little bit of another double-pronged attack right here. A big group of Roaches and Hydras now. See if they're going to be able to... What are they going to do? They're just going to target down this Nexus once again, but it looks like this group of units is going to be able to... Oh, some nice storms landing there on all of the units of Sheth, but the Nexus does go down. It looks like this force is going to be completely cleaned up, but look at this that is the beauty of a macro Zerg right there. It is barely going down. His supply count is barely going down. He's able to use this money very quickly and macro up another army very, very quickly. We see 8 Hydralisks, 7 Roaches, and 4 Infestors, as well as 18 Zerglings on the way right now. And we do see a little bit of another attack here from these Roaches. On this hero Hydralisk, gonna take out a Warp Gate if he has time. No, Hydralisk, what are you doing? What are you doing? It had 14 life, Hydralisk. All you had to do was hit it like 2 more times. How much damage do Hydras do? I need to know. I need to know. A little bit of another counterattack here from the Zerglings, but they are not going to be able to do anything against this very, very tough army. And more Roaches into the natural of vVvTime. Sheth is just everywhere right now. His army is dying constantly, but he has 5 mining bases up right now, and he's just able to do so much. These Hydralisks coming in now, they're going to be able to do so much damage against these Stalkers and these Immortals, doing very, very well, but they are going to be cleaned up. Some nice storms going down to take them out, and that is that. Now the shields are regenerating on that Warp Gate, and I have to know how much damage a Hydralisk does. Oh my gosh, it does 14 damage. Of course it does 14 damage. There was 14 life left on that Warp Gate, Sheth. There was 14 life left. You do 14 damage. Do you realize what that means? That means that you only had to hit it one more time. One more time. Speaking of time, you like that segue there. Speaking of time, we do see another Immortal coming out right now, as well as the level 3 weapons upgrades coming out now. That is going to help so much against this army, but it looks like this is a very huge army from Sheth. Some nice storms going down, but Infestors now added into the mix, and some huge fungal growths getting almost all of the units. Oh, and a huge concave for Sheth, and there is the GG from vVvTime. So Sheth, we just saw him pick apart vVvTime, just attacking. Oh my gosh, just attacking here constantly, as well as attacking here. He knew that he was gonna be losing a lot of his units, but it didn't even matter because he had so many mining bases that he was just able to replenish so quickly. He was able to keep his macro up, you know, keep all of his very basic stuff going, so that he was able to just produce and produce and produce. And he took out this Nexus, what, 2 or 3 times? And that is huge if your opponent is not mining from somewhere for, you know, for an extended period. It's just absolutely huge. So some very nice play, and we also saw that he was just doing everything else. He was about to get some drops and more upgrades. So that is a very good example of how to play a ZvP on Metalopolis. Here, of course, it's not going to work on every map, but like I said, check out Sheth's stream at justin.tv/FXOSheth. Check out vVvTime over at vVvGaming.com, I believe is their website. And you can check me out at youtube.com/Firexfredtv. Thank you guys so much for watching.